Thank you so much to Robin. Now, before I get started, I want everyone to do me a big favor, okay? I want you to turn to the person sitting next to you, even if it is a complete stranger, and I want you to give them a big hug. Okay, good. See, yes. I'm not talking like an awkward little pat on the back. I mean a nice, big, long, warm hug. All right, perfect. Now, if you're sitting there and you're wondering why on earth I would ever ask you to do that, well, it's not because I was trying to make things awkward here, and it's not because I wanted you to make some kind of a love connection, but if you did, you're welcome. It's because this past summer, I left the comfort of my big MTV studio, and I arrived at Robin's tiny village in rural Kenya. And there, her Maasai family stood, lined up as far as I could see, waiting to welcome me one by one with a nice, big, long, warm hug. And we were not just strangers, okay, from different parts of the province, from different schools. We were opposites, from different continents, from different worlds. And there they were, welcoming me, this tall, foreign redhead, into their home and into their family with love, with kindness, and with a hug. And for the rest of my stay there, the warmth that this family used to greet me was the same with which they would treat me. And on my final day in Maasai land, Toti, the 13-year-old girl who had kind of become like a little sister to me, announced with bare feet and this big smile that her family would be celebrating my visit with a traditional goat slaughtering ceremony. Now, this was a huge honor, okay? Because of drought and poverty, they could only afford to slaughter and eat one goat per year, and this year they were doing it just for me. I am a vegetarian. I have been a vegetarian my entire life, and when I frantically tried to explain that to them, they smiled and they said, well, that's okay. You don't have to eat the meat as long as you drink the blood. Well, I started strategizing ways to get around it. I figured that when the cup got passed to me, I could just, fake it. I could do like a, pass it along, problem solved. So the ceremony started, the goat was killed, there were no cups. Instead, are you ready for this? They slice the goat's throat open, peel its skin back, and invite me, the guest of honor, to get down on my knees and drink the thick, steaming blood right out of the goat's warm, dead body. Again, I just need to remind you, I am a vegetarian, and at this point I am hysterical, and we're not talking like perfect single Lauren Conrad tears. These were heaving, convulsive, snotty, whimpering sobs. Suddenly, a big, tall Maasai warrior drops his machete, leaves the goat, walks right up to me, and starts to gently wipe away my tears. And as he looked after me, I looked around at my new family who had taken me in and cared for me and given me everything they had. I mean, they had loved and accepted me despite my snot and my tears and my difference in culture. This was my chance to honor theirs. So I took a deep breath, I got down on my knees, and I drank the blood. I bet you never ever thought in your entire life you would applaud for something like that, but thank you. And as I walked back through the township with little Toti, the sun setting on my final day, I asked her, Toti, if you could change anything about your life, what would you change? And before I tell you her answer, I want to hear yours. So shout it out. What is the one thing you would change about your life? And be honest. Would you be more popular? Everything. I don't know about that. Have less homework? Would you be better at sports? Oh, you would get Jonas Brothers tickets. Perfect. Because, I understand all of those things. At 13, I could have made you a list of things that I would change. But Toti looked at me confused. Her clothes torn, her feet dirty, her eyes yellowed, and she said, nothing. She would change nothing. This was a girl who was celebrating life in the middle of hardship. You know, despite the hunger and the sickness and the suffering that she lived, she was finding happiness in family, in community, in the simplest pleasures of the world. Toti and her family had given me everything. And by our standards, they had nothing. I had never seen such an outpouring of kindness, of generosity, of hope until today. Because what I saw in that rural Kenyan village, I see in you. And you may not live in a mud hut, you may not sleep on sticks, and I am hoping that you have never slaughtered a goat. But inside, you are the same. You are the we generation. You are the motivated, educated generation who care just as much about the little issues in your own world as you do about the big ones on our planet, and who know that happiness doesn't come from what you have in your life, but what you choose to do with it. I learned that on my journey, and now it's time for you to begin yours. It starts with hugging a stranger, and it ends with changing the world. Thank you, guys.